So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to an first panel after lunch. My promise will make it a lot of laughter, humor, and fun. Are you game for it? Yes? So panel को change कर देते हैं. Let us make it a discussion for the afternoon. And I want all of us to participate so that we make this a irregular, unregular panel, just like the subject says, smart panel. So I am very happy to be here. I am Ralph Sunil. I am very happy to be back in Delhi. I used to work with GMR as group head for GMR across the group, including the Delhi airport, Hyderabad airport, all the energy plants for 5 years before I went to JSW Steel. Presently, I'm based in Karnataka in a plant which is about 10,000 acres in near Bangalore, 5 hours from Bangalore. And I have been in the FM industry for the past 30 years. So we'll share a lot of stories, we'll have a lot of fun. Before I go forward, I would like to ask my panelists to introduce themselves and then we'll take the subject on.
Yeah, very good afternoon, all of you. I know after lunch it becomes a little difficult to sit and listen to the conversation, but as Ralph said, we'll make it more interesting and we would like to interact with you people so that, it is an interaction section so that, everybody is taking interest in it. So myself, Alka Joon, I am CMD of AtoZ group of companies. Which is AtoZ Facility Management, AtoZ Housekeeping Solutions, and I'm the managing partner for JUPEX Foundation, which is a NGO. And side by side, I own my own 3-star hotel at AeroCity. So I would say I'm into this facility management for last more than 3 decades. I started my career as a housekeeper in 1991. So here I am today in front of you and looking forward to interact with you all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ajit. I'm based in Bangalore, lead the Work Dynamics division of JLL, which manages and works with occupiers of large buildings, corporates primarily. And I've been with JLL for almost 20 years now.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me here. My name is Rachna. I head workplace management for Airtel India, so which includes, our retail stores, offices, MSC, data centers, and the corporate office, circle offices which we have. So large portfolio, different sort of experience, and in a way, everyone is our customer because I represent Airtel, right? Otherwise, I have total work experience of 20 years. I have worked with various companies like ICICI, Reliance, Vodafone Idea, a European company called Cinch, which is again, telecom-based product making. And this is, the panel, the subject which is given today. There, I definitely look forward that a lot of participation from your side because we are talking about smart city, right? Which I think very less people have experienced, at least in India. So looking forward for that. Thank you.
Namaskar. My name is Ashish Rakheja. I'm a consulting engineer in the field of electromechanical and sustainability. So when I got invited, I started thinking, what have I got to do with facility management? Nothing. But then I realized I got everything. What I do is ultimately facility managers are taking care of it. So we design the buildings and with respect to electromechanical and sustainability, which ultimately is impacting the facility managers and the building owners. It's a group of about 250 people that we run based in Pan-India. And we primarily into the design of hotels, hospitals, airports like the Jewar Airport and lots of buildings that we do. So happy to be part of this panel, especially the smart cities and smart buildings. Smart cities, I'm not too sure. I thought smart cities all about chalan aayega ghar pe bas CCTV camera lage hain. Possibly it's going to be more than that, but definitely smart buildings is somewhere that we can contribute a lot. Thank you.
Great, Ashish. That's the panel in front of you. So, question to all of you. Just tell one word when you think of smart building or smart city. We have maybe 50, 60 people here. Can we have 60 words? I'm sorry? Efficiency. Plan for future. Okay. Very good. Technology innovation. Save every life of the occupant of the building. Okay. Ease of every citizen of the building. Any more? I'm sorry? Surveillance. Okay. Sustainable. Very good. Any more? Two more and then we can close this panel. Okay, so smart cities or smart buildings are buildings or cities, like he rightly said, 3-4 words, key words: sustainable, easy, highly efficient in terms of basically natural resources, and a governance that will lead to smart living of people with a lot of control on the particular activity by itself, not by pushing. अगर दिल्ली बस में जाएंगे or any metro city bus you go, people hang out of the bus in the smaller towns. Police has to give danda to put them inside. But in the smart cities, it's all automatic door controlled. Correct? I'm just giving a small example. If you correct. So that's what makes a smart city. So what you said is the problem to making a smart city. Or traffic, red signal, red light, people go, or no parking mein jana hai. So what smart cities have got? They have bolsters, bollards which come up. They have spikes which come up. So it's like somebody from here said technology. So technology is another big element of smart. So there are lots of things that we'll discuss in this panel and with all of us in the smart city and smart building panel. So what I would want my co-panelists to talk about is what is their thought about smart city and what they would want to tell the audience about their little experience from the space of smart city or smart building they manage from themselves. So let's start with Alka, madam.
Yeah, for me, smart city is where when I start my day, right, I don't have to take tension that how long it will take to reach my office, which is the biggest challenge in smart cities we people are facing, I believe. Gurgaon is the live example in front of us. It is called as smart city, but I hardly see anything which is smart. So the definition of smart city here, it is just for the sake of saying smart city. And the problem what we face is we don't learn out of the issues, out of the problems. After some time, Faridabad was also declared a smart city. But again, it is an utter failure. We all know that. So what I feel like smart city when it comes to like we should have nice mobility, nice transportation system. When your day starts, you are tension free to reach your office so that your mind is in your work where you feel that yes, I can, contribute to the system where I can go and work religiously, but it doesn't happen. So the government and the private bodies, which I feel should have a long-term master plan of mobility which is not happening. Our governments or our private agencies just work on 20 years master plan or maybe 30 years plus master plan. But it is not happening. If we take example of small cities like, don't go far away. If we go to Kuala Lumpur, see the kind of roads they have, the kind of infrastructure they have come up. You go to Dubai. So everywhere you feel, you see that, roads, mobility, transportation is the is the place where like everybody is commuting in a very, very fast pace. So what I feel that, the transportation system should be such where everybody should reach office or should have, just tension free thing. There should not be any traffic, there should not be any accidental things, there should not be, the road should be cleared, the signals, it should be signal free, but which is not happening, but we have to ensure that how it is going to happen. So the government and the private bodies have to work together so that this mobility is there, the infrastructure is coming up, infrastructure, whatever we are going to create there, is good enough so that it can take the task of, people, say hundreds of thousands of people are going to work in smart cities. So we have to take care of our transportation system.
Great. Can we hear from Ajit?
So my view about smart cities a little more positive. We have bits and parts of smart city in every city that we have. There's something that's working well. I think it's a combination of the whole thing. Our buildings have become smart today. A lot of buildings have become green, sustainable, technology enabled, ease of use, multiples that are there. The cities are there in bits and pieces. And to Alka's point about traffic management and things like that, if you look at Bangalore's actually implemented a very smart traffic management system. It's still work in progress. It's not perfect, but it actually predicts the amount of traffic that's going to be on the road and defines how long that signal is going to stay green. Has that solved the problem? No. But, the ability of the technology to learn and make life easier continues to be. So it's going to be a journey. I mean, we can't build a new city altogether, but the ability to adapt to what we really need, I think that's my definition of a smart city. And I think with a little bit of effort and the technology implementation and investment that's really happening, we will see a lot of our cities go smart, but maybe not smart in terms of every aspect of it. There are certain parts of our life which would become easier, and I think, and the city will adapt to those. So that's my view of a smart city.
Thanks, Ajit. Rachna?
So I will, like to talk about something which we can really control, right? Smart city is something which is definitely with the partnership of government. Private and public partnership is required to make the city change. But here, with us as FM fraternity, if I have to talk about, let's focus on what we can really do in terms of our own buildings, because that is where, first of all, the controllable experience starts. After that, the integration with the city would happen. So my take on smart city would be this, that first let's focus on smart buildings.
Thank you. Sir, आपने नाम तो लिया नहीं मेरा?
Sorry.
Can I start?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to
I
wake
got
everybody
into
up.
her.
You
thought.
got into thinking mode. Yes,
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
Sure.
So on a serious note, to me, a smart city would mean a city which is resilient, because resiliency is a big subject today with respect to man-made and natural disasters. Gurgaon, you took the example. It's a combination of man-made and natural disasters, both where we stand there. So smart city has to be resilient. And resiliency is a subject that can overflow into many areas, but I'll leave it there for the time being. The second is digital. When you talk of CCTVs and all, when I spoke about the challans coming home, I was just cracking a joke, but at the end of the day, digitalization is something which is in. And the third part is sustainability. When you have all the three basic ingredients into the place, rest all are offshoots of whatever we talk about and has to be there. Now, where do I see those? First of all, resiliency, it's a very interesting subject. So if I can get 2-3 minutes, I can talk on that. Traditionally how the cities or the buildings are designed, they're always designed based on historical data. You look at 100-year-old, so you call an architect or a city planner, they look at 100-year-old data and say, flood levels are here, earthquake is like this, the wind speeds are like this, and I'm designing my buildings. The future is not about the past. The climate change has brought in a separate angle of a changing weather patterns and the changing scenarios. We were at a conference in Mumbai where the Indian Meteorological Department chief was there. And he said that, look, we still in Mumbai get the same rainfall. The volume is the same, but it is coming in more intensity. The wind patterns are becoming more intense. We can just go on and on that. So we have to be able to predict now what is going to be future from here, from 20 years from now, 50 years from now. And we already started seeing those trends coming in. Again, not getting too much detail. Digitalization, we are all seeing it. In our daily lives, we are talking of 5Gs, 6Gs, phones and all. They're all part of the digital infrastructure that is being built. IoT is Internet of Things is a reality today. Artificial intelligence is coming. Whatever form it is today, it is going to become more and more collaborative as we go forward. So our cities should be able to take that. And finally, a sustainability, because we have a 2070 target. Whether we take that 2070 hoga, 2050 hoga, 2080 hoga, but the point is the decarbonization target is sitting on our head. And the cities or the built environment contributes to 40% of the carbon emissions. And add to that the transport emissions and all, you're talking of a nearly 70-80% emissions coming out of this part itself. So the one which is smart will be able to look at all of this, and these are doable. Nothing is undoable in this. We have already, as correctly said earlier, one of my fellow panelists said, we have started cracking it at the building level, and it's time that we can extend it to the city level too. So yeah, that's my view. Thank you.
Great, Ashish. Thanks to all of you. See, I will share some experiences of what I've also gone through. I've handled both the smart city and the smart building as well. Delhi airport, I'm sure all of us have been there everywhere. In the last 5 years when I used to be there, like some of you said, technology made a transformation to the building. Any building that can measure, can control. Anybody can guess how many sensors are there in T3? Just a number. For only controlling HVAC. The air quality of Terminal 3 is controlled by how many sensors? Just a number, tell me. Yeah, Delhi International, T3.
For the air quality you're saying, sir?
Air quality.
Air quality?
Just take a rough guess. 18. 80. You are close. 26,000 sensors 3 years ago. Today it must have gone to 40,000 sensors. No human intervention. The sensor will talk to the HVAC panel. If there is more CFM, it will reduce the CFM. If there is bad air, it will reduce the bad fresh air. It will control the entire flow. And if you go to T3 at any point of time, 99%, I'll leave 1% away, you will find the same temperature always maintained, which is almost at 21, 22. T3 is cold. If you've been there, you will notice it. If you come outside the aircraft and enter T3, I'm sure all of you have gone through, correct, no? So buildings run by technology. Anybody can see, I've gone to a building probably, I don't know, it must be the top 5 buildings in the country, in Ahmedabad. Anybody can guess? Who said that? ACH. Anybody's gone to that building? So you've been there. 17 floors, managed by a small team of FM professionals, and everything from the BMS to the water management, to the discharge, to the cafeteria, to the waste management, to the lighting, 100% controlled by 3 people in 3 shifts from a BMS, which is in the basement. Even if you go to the parking with your car, there is an arrow which will lead you to park where? An arrow will lead you to park. One of the best buildings in the country, it was ACH. So Gautam Bhai, I was a guest of Gautam Bhai for 4 days in that building, and it was simply amazing. Paper, no stationery. If you go to a meeting room, if the meeting is booked for, let us say, 1 hour, 55th minute there will be a buzzer that will come, anybody's meeting. And after the 65th minute, the lights will automatically get off if you don't ask for an extension. The building talks to everybody. So there are buildings that are beautifully made and going all across the country. I have handled about 3-4 cities, including the present one which I am handling is a 10,000 acres city which we are trying to make smart. No dustbin in the city. Completely fleet of 200 EV vehicles. No emission on transportation. Zero liquid discharge. Waste segregation at source. Governance in all ways, including diversity, which is part of ESG. So these are the things that really, why I'm telling you experiences, because that will stay with people as takeaways. So if you manage to bring in elements of all we spoke in social areas, in technology areas, in governance areas, in mobility areas, in waste areas, we can get a great city. And now many hotels, like we spoke about buildings, hotels are becoming examples of smart buildings as we go by. It's a complete ecology, not building alone, not the city alone. So we'll take the next round. I would like to start
Sir,
from
can I comment on that, what you made, if that's okay with you? A little
We'll
bit?
go to the next round.
Okay, sure.
Then we will be discussing
Okay.
among ourselves. My suggestion is, let's go to the next round. What I would want, before you start, audience question, tell me one element of smart building or smart city that you have driven from yourself. Anybody wants to speak? One element that you have experienced, that you introduced in your career to make a change in the building or the city that you manage. If not, the panelists are going to talk about it. Okay, Ashish? You can answer. Now you can answer to my question also.
Simplest example would be your elevators. Your elevators come with built-in adaptive function, which is nothing but closer to the artificial intelligence, where they can predict the movement of the people in the morning and the evening, because there's a pattern in an office environment or a residential environment. There's a pattern, and these elevators can predict that movement. So the positioning of the car, if you have a multiple bank of elevators, the position of the car is based on the predictive learning that is taking place. So this has been around for a long time, and there are many such examples we can go on. So what would you like me to speak on? All right, so I'll comment on what Sir said. I think he brought out the example of the Terminal 3, and I had the privilege of being the designer for it several years back when that was being set up for the Commonwealth Games. The entire example which Sir had taken was around the digital infrastructure. And currently, the digital infrastructure, what he's talking about, the building automation systems, are itself seeing an evolution when we say IoT, Internet of Things. The reason is that anything that you pick up from the phone to the car to everything has got microprocessors in it. Everything is becoming digital. Now, interconnecting of those devices is the next generation of evolution that we are seeing. And finally, the ingrained AI systems that will start coming in. So what Sir is saying, the FM team today requires 5 people to run the building. Tomorrow it's going to become 1 people to run the building, operate the building, because the AI systems are going to take over. But obviously they require a lot of learning, machine learning to take place. All those evolutions will happen. And that's why I said one of the biggest, in fact, I was doing a Google the other day where I said, what are the mega trends of our construction industry or the built environment? The 2 mega trends appeared there. The first one was climate change or the decarbonization, and the second one again was digitalization. So digitalization is what is going to be a key in many areas, because you'll be able to monitor the performance, you'll be able to improve upon the performance. If those of you in the hotel industry would see, the benchmarking of the properties is being done with respect to the to their operation with the various aspects, whether it's waste, whether it's water, whether it's energy, whether it's a manpower, whatever, there's a benchmarking, and then further learning and optimization taking place, sir.
Thanks, Ashish. Rachna is a building management expert, and she is going to share few thoughts on building efficiency and how technology is transforming buildings into smart buildings. Rachna, over to you.
So see how I see, any building to be smart from two perspectives. One is obviously the user. Uh, our profile is very much closely related to the workplace experience, the way employees feel the building. So whether this is about smart parking, people are not supposed to wait, right? When the experience starts from there. Once people enter in the morning, so smart parking may be an app which tells me that okay, whether parking is available in a city like Gurgaon, where is always a dearth of parking, right, in the building. So people should be pre-informed about it so that they can really manage their schedule and their first step in the office. Second would be the way the access is granted. If let's say I forget my access card, what is the alternate way which makes me fast? Let's say I'm running late for a meeting and I suddenly realize that okay, my card is not there. What is the alternate mechanism which we have created to ensure that an employee gets a speedy entry, right? Because security is also equally important. Third would be that okay, I'm occupying the desk. There are different sort of I can say ways of working which we have set at Airtel, depending on the different businesses which we run. So there are hybrid operations. There are people who have fixed seating. There are shifts also working. So people who work in hybrid shift generally, we especially take care of this thing that how they are equipped to have the right desk available for them. They should not be having a challenge that, okay, oh, I'm coming here for 3 days and I'm not able to have a seat. Why should I come to office? That experience. Then the other one, which is I'm sure that a lot of you must be facing in your own buildings, meeting room efficiency and, the way it is used. People book it, they don't use it. What is the way out? There are a couple of things which we all have tried in terms of having floor walks, understanding, okay, whether the meeting room is occupied, not occupied. Then obviously what we started recently, using sensors, right? So that we know this thing that, okay, someone is occupying or not, can we really release it to other person or not in the portal itself so that it is available, people can really book it. The other would be from FM side, right? Our perspective, that how do we perceive our buildings to be smart? In terms of our own operations, first thing is obviously the energy management, right? Because we all know this thing, when we see about our OPEXs, energy is something which definitely has a higher cost other than the, rentals and cam and whatever we pay. So energy efficiency definitely, and how do we monitor it? Once we monitor it, then only we will know this thing that, okay, how do we cut cost on that or optimize it basically. The other would be HVAC, right? Because we all have different sort of people occupying the building and different sort of complaints coming up that, okay, this is too cold, this is too hot. So obviously BMS helps us. Now we have the integration with us. Third would be, water and waste management, very, very important for all of us. Because this does not only adds to the reporting or the thing which we do, it is definitely a duty from all of us that, these things are managed efficiently and there is a process attached to it. So how are we making that smart? In terms of having the right tool, having, things which are equipping us for having all the reportings on time. So I see, smart building in this way.
Excellent, excellent, Rachna. That's a lot of thought, and you covered a lot of things. So, world is moving very fast, and almost all the things you have mentioned here, solutions are going at breakneck speed, and everything is becoming disruptive. Things are being changed in a very big way. I would like to now request Ajit to speak about the ESG part of how a smart building or a smart city. What are those elements that make a smart city or a smart building with respect to the ESG component?
Sure. I think we've spoken about the environment aspect, so I'll leave that aside for a second and then concentrate on two not so high focus areas. Two areas that probably need a lot more focus, which is the social and the governance. It's about who's using it. While we've got employees, we've got associates, but there are a good number of people who come from a totally different class who are inside that building. How do we actually get them to be a part of this whole story? Are we going to, and I'm not going to go to the controversial topic of minimum wages, I'll leave that there for a second, but I'd definitely love to talk about something that we are working, which is living wages, something that we're we are pushing hard to see how do we get that. But more importantly, we're talking about technology. We're talking about buildings that interact with people. We also need to understand that we come from a very diverse country that's, multiple languages being spoken. And when we go for a trained ITI or a diploma, he's not as well versed in English as a lot of us are, or probably who are educated. Are these technologies and smart buildings ready to kind of communicate with that level of people? Is AI only for the people who are capable and educated, or can AI help that section of people? So what we've done, and I'll probably jump into an example quickly, what we've actually done is we've created a technology that can interact with our technicians in 28 different languages and uses AI. So what happens is, let's say there's a red light blinking on the UPS. He just goes and clicks a photo of it on our tool, and that actually tells him in his local language what are the 4 things that he needs to do to be able to resolve that, bypass it, whatever it is, and guides him to eventually saying that if it's a larger breakdown, probably go to, call the OEM or whatever needs to be done in that aspect. So I would call this as democratization of AI. I think that's the social angle of the whole story. It also connects in terms of being inclusive about how it is. So this not only has, engineering, but also in our soft services in terms of, we are moving away from this whole concept of, let's say, time-based, that everything is going to be done every 1 hour. We're moving into something called as condition-based, where it's going to be done based on need. And that, again, interacts in multiple languages for our housekeepers and all those people. So, the point I'm making is the social and governance aspect sometimes in smart cities gets lost because we're looking at one section of people. When we mean smart city, one of the big things is about the whole inclusivity. Whether it's someone who's 80 years old or someone who's 10 years old, that city needs to be able to adapt itself to give that person what he or she needs. If that person is educated or uneducated or half educated, in the language, I think it needs to do something like that. I think, so ESG is going to play, or SG, let me put it, E is a given. Like Ashish said, there's not going to be a place to live if we don't take care of the E. But, S and G are going to be very important aspects that people like us, especially this fraternity, needs to look at to be enabling a large part of our population to be a part of this growth in the smart cities.
Great, that's a lot of good insight, Ajit. And nice to hear all the initiatives that JLL has been taking. I don't know if all of you have seen this video on YouTube of JLL. Have you seen this? If you have not seen, just write down and see it today. You'll love the video. It's called JLL Future of Work. Just go and see this video. It will address what she has told in a building, what he has told. It's all in the YouTube. How you can enter a building seamlessly and finish your day seamlessly. JLL Future of Work or Future of Workplace. I'll move on to Alka madam to talk about the mobility aspect and the waste management aspect of a smart building or a smart city. So your turn now.
Yeah, see, waste management is the most challenging thing today's life because I would say more than 75 million waste is being generated by India, and we don't know how to recycle it, we don't know how to go about it. So this is the biggest challenge we are facing. I'll talk about AeroCity. AeroCity is taking great initiatives that how best we can do the waste management, how the things can be recycled out of the waste. So the same way, each and every person of our field, especially the facility management team, has to ensure that the whatever waste is being generated from the buildings is being properly segregated and then recycled. So the segregation of waste management is utmost important because unless the waste is not segregated, we cannot recycle it. So recycling is the process where you take out the waste, you segregate it, and then you reuse it and you recycle it so that it can be used again. So this is one of the most important thing, and I'm very happy to work with AeroCity where, we are taking all these initiatives. I would say like where, used plastic bottles are being used as planters. We are growing small plants in used plastic bottles. Then there are so many things like what we are doing, the water, what is coming from the hotels, the wastewater is being again used for the horticulture team. They are using the wastewater for watering the plants. So these are small steps which are being taken for the waste management. So everyone here, like, we should take pledge, because the charity begins at home only. Unless the waste management is not being taken care by us at home, by our children, I don't think so. You know, the big buildings or the people working there in the buildings, in the they can take they can use it, or they can reuse the waste. So everywhere here has to take a pledge that at home we segregate the waste. Dry waste is separated from the wet waste, so the wet waste can be used for the making the compost, for making the fertilizers. There are so many agencies, government is also taking initiatives. We talk about it, but religiously we are not following it. So I would recommend everybody to segregate the waste and use it, making compost for your plants, for your wherever you feel like it can be used. So the same thing goes for the transportation, as I talked earlier also. So the AI system, as Ashish is being talking, which is very important to control the traffic. I quoted the example of Gurgaon, that it is just if I have to reach office, I don't know how long it will going to take reach office. So digitization, the AI tools to control the traffic is going to be the most important thing, which I think we all of should work on it. Government should invest on R&D, that how we can control traffic. And then again, the problem of parking, how the parking can be controlled by AI system, digitization. So that's what I feel that, smart cities should have. It is the basic thing which everybody should talk about now.
Great, Alka madam. So I've got about 10, 15 examples, short one-liners. Two big roads in India which have become smart by itself. Anybody can answer? Mumbai Coastal Road and the Dwarka Expressway. The two big roads that today is changing the face of Indian transport. I'm sure all of us have used. The Mumbai Coastal Road, I used to take 1 hour, 10 minutes when I used to work in Bombay to go from from Khar, Bandra to Churchgate. It takes me less than 20 minutes now. In the Dwarka Expressway, first time I went after a few months. It's just changing. So there is development. This is what is becoming smart. Waste management. We launched a program in Rishikesh. These are all storytelling I'm trying to tell you, the real things. And behind every bottle we put a QR code. Jo bhi bottle milega na, anybody can pick up that bottle from anywhere and take it to a shop. There was a list of shops in Rishikesh. If that bottle is given, that fellow will scan the QR code and give him a 5 rupees. Just to collect an empty bottle. Rishikesh became zero bottle. It's a program which is going on even now. There is some issues in the last 2 weeks, but we are running that from the JSW Foundation, which I triggered, and we put it on the map of the activity. Flora, fauna, somebody was talking about, waste management in the other way. I have just on the bridge of commissioning a waste management plant, probably one of the best integrated waste management plant in any corporate. We will be generating 5 crores revenue every year from the plant from the first year onwards. Plastic, wet, dry, biodegradable, e-waste, not e-waste, and horticulture waste. The first year we are looking at doing about 5 crore generation with all the various technologies that can segregate and do waste, which is purely conceptualized, made everything in-house, and we are driving that in a very short way. The first township, not now, when our Prime Minister said that entire country should go digital in cash. All of you are part of it? No paisa. I was the first township in the country that you cannot even put a puncture to a bicycle. A child cannot do with 5 rupees. They had to use a digital medium. We gave them all cards, no cash. No, it's all on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you can talk to me later. All the links are there. First city in the country, smart city in the country, we didn't have any digitalization. So there are leaps and bounds of things that are going on. In a building, for example, Rachna was saying, I went to Macau. I'm sure any of you gone to Macau? There's this large, the Meridian there, which is, I think, 3 or 4,000 casino hotels, 4,000 rooms. And you know how many people were maintaining these 4,000 rooms? Maintenance crew? 7 people in all the shifts. Bulb goes down in any room, in all the 3,000, 4,000 rooms, it will come on the BMS and you can go. So technology is becoming very vast, technology is growing in a very big way. All the aspects of smart city are getting into it. Like Ashish said, IoT and AI is going to be the future. It's already the future. I was in Amsterdam for the Interclean India meet. That's the biggest forum of all the FM fraternity across the world. They come there. They went there for the first time last year, and believe me, AI driven, including the cycle. It's all AI, IoT driven. You can park, you can know where to park your cycle, you know which road is bigger, which road is smaller, very small happy city, but amazing transformation, and you feel like that you want to stay there itself. So there's a lot of things that go up. I've got 4 minutes in which I will give the panelists 1 minute, and I'll ask the organizers to give 2 more minutes for the audience. So just as a wrap up, Ashish will start. I would want to know, do you think this smart city will happen, smart building will happen all across our country, or there are any big challenges that you think will delay this in a long way, or some thoughts you want to put on it? Sure. Or who all should participate?
Right. So the whole digitalization, resiliency, and finally the sustainability will bring in the accountability. And once the accountability comes in, it is all about performance. Already, when you talk of the ESG, when you talk of carbon emissions, when you talk of energy numbers, water numbers, everybody is now getting down to a number that you need to achieve. That means the days of broad concepts are gone. Now the performance has to be shown. Even if you look at your rating systems, you know, we're all familiar with the green rating systems of the buildings. The earlier concepts of the green rating systems are going away because they were all about designs. They did not come into the performance of the building. Today, the net zero rating systems that we are talking about is about the performance of the building. Even from the, so as we get down to the performance numbers, what I say is that these will be all performance-led solutions that will start emerging from design, go down to the construction, go down to the operation. There'll be an integration aspect that you'll start seeing. And we have already started seeing the trends of it internationally. I'm using very broad things because we are summing up the panel. Now, where I see the challenge of this, we have to achieve there because that is a given. When the world moves, we also move with that. And the target on our head will stay. The code, the government is also ready with the codes and standards which are shifting. Today, if you look at the new Energy Code of India, the ECSBC or the new National Building Code coming in, we are all talking, so we are all talking about performance, and there are chapters on IoT, digitalization, everything is coming in and they are encompassing the various chapters that are there in the code. Now, when you come down to the performance, we need the trained operators, or the AI will come and start doing that thing for us, which is an expensive solution because it's easy to say AI, but to implement AI is a very, very expensive solution. And that's where I feel that a framework, or rather the infrastructure for us people to upgrade is not there. That means the learnings, the teachings, and the education is what is missing, and that is what is going to delay. I'm not going to say going to stop, it's just going to delay the implementation of it, but the performance-based buildings, designs, everything is now coming, and coming very fast. Yeah, thank you.
Ashish, you hit the nail on the head. Learnings and adaptability is the name of the game, and thanks for sharing that with me. Rachna?
So I feel, we talk about AI, we talk about IoT, everything. The one thing which I feel that most of us struggle today as well that's about data privacy and how do we actually have that through. So one thing is obviously it's expensive. Definitely we can have a business case with that. That how do we really justify that, okay, why we are implementing and how this is going to make life easy or smooth. But the other problem which I face is, this data privacy issue, the clearances which we need to really obtain, and the risk which definitely all the, application has, because every data is actually going to somewhere, and the kind of partners which we see, and where the cloud is, right, the storage is happening, what law it is really falling into. So all these things, I feel that it is still not solved because in India, the law is not really transparent about all these things. We are still, developing it. The second aspect which which I see is the integration. So today we work with so many different partners, right? And there can be access control for that matter from one partner, and visitor management from the other partner. How do we integrate? People are reluctant to give open, access, the API. So this is one of the thing, and we cannot be reinventing the wheel. That while having, monopoly created, or maybe shifting everything to one partner. So this is also something which I feel that definitely is going to delay. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachna. Both very pertinent points. Data privacy, which is the name of the game again today. Everything revolves around data. I think the previous forum, Tarun also mentioned. Amazing points. And agnostics that you talked about, integration. There are 5 big companies today who are only concentrating on agnostics of marrying all the various platforms together on one stage. We can discuss later. Over to you, Ajit.
I'll keep it very short.
Yeah.
Two things that I see. One, ability to get the right kind of talent. When we talk about an ACH or one of these advanced buildings, for us, the ability, because our industry even today doesn't have a formal education that is there in colleges and schools. So how are we going to get an education that kind of meets the needs of some of the management of these smart cities? That's point number one. The second part I have is the whole inclusivity that I said. If we can't include 60% of our population, which is actually a migrant population or people who come from a different kind of city and different kind of environment, I think that's going to hinder the progress of the efficiency of the smart city, because it's also a responsibility for us to use the city in a responsible manner, and everyone is educated on that piece. So I think those are the 2 big things that we'll have from this piece.
Great, Ajit. You stole both my points. Very good. No, you didn't see that. No, but very good. I'll sum it up at the end. Very good.
Yeah, as
Bang on.
Ajit said, that I'm totally with him, that education system is very important. See, the facility management term, if we talk about, there are very few people, I would say only 5 to 10% people here, not here, all over, that who knows what is facility management. So sometimes when I go and pitch for my business, I really had to explain that what is facility management. So builders are there, they are making big, huge, they're constructing big buildings, but at the end they don't know that how to maintain it. That is the biggest challenge we are facing at the moment. We have big facades coming up, we have big, 20 stories, 30 stories buildings coming up, but we don't know how to evacuate those buildings. We don't know if there is a fire, how we are going to face it. We don't know exactly how to clean the facade from outside. We don't know where the waste is going. If 1,000 people are working in building, that how the waste management is going to happen. So from where all this will come? The education system. So in our education system, we need to impart that what is FM, what is housekeeping, what is electric, what is technology, what is going to be AI system, as my friend Ashish said, that AI is going to be the future of our facility management. So all these subjects are very important, which should be taken care by all the education authorities, so that the people know that where and what to do and how to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So just to sum up a few more examples, then we can close. So everybody spoke about education and capacity building. Very important, because that is going to make, because see, doctors, lawyers, engineers, see, any profession are at some level where they know about their job fully. But if you ask an FM professional, at least from the ground below, there is, yes, we'll finish in about 3 minutes. The knowledge penetration is very, very bad. Like I was judging the Asian housekeepers meet. I met over 40 housekeepers. 25 of them I asked, HVAC के बारे में कुछ बताइए. 5 of them didn't know expansion of HVAC. And 20 of them didn't know to speak more than anything. So education is a very important thing. Just to let you know, personally we are driving 3 schools. We have started one with DSEU. I think Captain Alroy knows. We are running a facility management course in the Delhi Entrepreneur Skill Education activity. I have started a school with Ramaya University in Bangalore and with specialization in airport facility management. First batch, all of them deployed with complete education, and so we are registering about 7-8 schools across the country to take FMS, facility management services, is the key activity. The second part is that all of us spoke about technology. Yes, technology is the most important thing. We are driving another concept called MAD across the country, MAD FMS. I started in 2017. We had only 7-8 providers who were there in the MAD technology. What is MAD? Mechanization, automation and digitalization. In Bangalore, we launched the first program called DGFM. And today, I am not exaggerating, over 180 people are providing MAD services with technology to the country, and most of them are connected to me. So the way to go is technology. And what Ajit said was important. The biggest challenge from all of us, what we see, I think all of us, is our people's mindset and culture. The same story, like all of us say, Singapore mein jao, you don't throw a paper. I started the first biggest entertainment complex in India in IMAX, Prasad IMAX in Hyderabad. I had footfall of 25,000 per day in 2001. But very soon people started spitting everywhere. Then kaise smart hoga building? So we found a way how to get rid of it. We painted differently. We put lot of posters and interesting artifacts, etc., that people will not want to spit, just like how it happens in Singapore. So everything is possible to make our building smart, our city smart, and all of that largely lies with in people's hands who are here. People like us can make smart buildings, smart cities, better world and smarter world with all these aspects. And of course, technology being the top of it. But just to finish, I will tell you, whatever microwave oven you buy in your home, whatever microwave oven you buy in your home, it can never be replaced by your mother's cooking. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you had a nice panel. I don't have time for questions. We'll take it outside. Thank you and all the best. Thanks to all the panelists.